How's it everyone? Welcome back to episode 11 of our Portugal campaign. Disaster has struck. We have been declared war upon by Castile. They finally decided to throw hands, and to be honest, they've caught us with our pants down. We are not ready for this war at all. I kind of messed up a little bit with my recording and I missed this first naval battle. Basically what happened was I was trying to block the Bay of Cadiz. Then they sent in their fleet. We had a very, very close battle. They did eventually beat us and we retreated. And then Aragon came in to our rescue and defeated their army, which is why their fleet is stuck here in the Bay of in Sevilla. Now, in terms of objectives, it's going to be very tough. I think what we're going to try and do is basically pivot onto the military techs. We're going to remove the progress here. Hopefully it doesn't permanently remove the progress, but if it does, then that is what it is. We're going to have to go for gunpowder, try and get extra defense. The usage of gunpowder on the battlefield will certainly have a positive impact on our performance and allow us to excel in military engagements. So we'll go for that first. What we're going to do with these guys is basically just try and keep them alive for as long as possible. I don't think there's much we can do by way of fighting them. The numerical advantage is just too high, but what we can try and do is drag this on for as long as possible, and maybe we'll get lucky with a white peace or something like that. So we're also going to use pretty much all of our money to hire some mercenaries. We will hire this guy because he's got better military stats. Let's do this quickly before something bad happens. So we'll hire them in Beja. It should take a little bit of time, but then he will come and join the fray. We're going to back off of this blockade because it looks like Aragon are abandoning us. And yeah, let's just see what we can do. Sabugal has now fallen. There's a massive 25,000 strong army in our lands, pillaging and damaging our land. Horrible, horrible stuff. Looks like Aragon have smashed the... Looks like Castile have smashed the Aragonese army to absolute pieces, which is not what we want at all. Gosh, I don't think we can get out of this. The Catholic Church is united again. Under a new Pope, the Catholic Church remains whole and unbroken, but the authority of the Pope is significantly weakened during this period. Hopefully this has not damaged our faith permanently. Let us hope that Pope Pio Esposito is a capable Pope. So that's the end of the schism. Try and catch this one ship out on his own. See if we can smash him. We did beat it. Okay, what we'll try and do is just capture a few of these southern unprotected areas. This could go south if there's an army hiding here somewhere, but I don't really know what other option we have, to be honest. Okay, we've captured our first province. Keep moving down. And to be honest, if we can get to Aracena and capture Aracena, thing is, I don't know if there's another stack of troops waiting here to hurt me. Okay, we're on the way to capturing Aracena. We're going to bring our navy out here. Let's just keep an eye on everyone else who's coming through. Oh, gosh. Gosh, that professional regiment is absolutely shredding them. Okay, we captured Aracena. Can we get to Sevilla? This will force the naval fleet out, and that might enable us to get another naval victory here. It's all transport ships as well. Okay, that's forced them out and we've won that war. Let's run our troops back home. Okay, so we're in a battle here. I could do with Aragon coming to our defense. Please come and help us. Oh, they're coming now. Come on. Fantastic, so we have won that war. I actually missed Sevilla somehow. I'm going to go back and capture Sevilla. Glory to us. Our decision to focus on offense has led to too many of our neighbours to look enviously and worriedly at our glorious troops, who stand ready to give our enemies a taste of cold steel. That's really good for us, a bit of extra army, tradition and some prestige. Let's capture Sevilla and then get the hell out of Dodge. Cool, so we've captured Sevilla. That should force the ships out, and I need Aragon to come and support us again if they would be so kind. Okay, we have won that battle. We've got a +1% spore score. Can we peace out? No. Oh god. It does feel like it's only a matter of time, but if we can maybe drag this on for as long as possible, we might just stand a chance. We've flipped a few more provinces. That's kicked them out again, and again I need Aragon to come to our defense. Although it looks like we'd probably be just about okay. Yeah, we've won again. So it is ticking up now, 6%. I don't think we're going to be able to do it, to be honest, but we can try our bloody hardest. As these provinces flip as well, that will be in our favour. But unfortunately they're going to start taking the north. Bring these guys out and smash the navy yet again. So we're up to 7%. Their war support is dropping a little bit. Not loads, but a little bit. See if we can get our guys into the interior and start flipping some of these areas. The more time they spend focusing on forts and the more we conquer unprotected provinces, the better it will be for us over time. Although we still have to be at war for another 4 years before we can even think about white peace. Gosh. Okay, we've completed this task, control around the capital. Not really going to be huge for us at this point in time, but we'll go for it anyway. See if we can get some more free war score. We are eventually going to get caught by someone, I think, and then it's going to be the end. Looks like these guys are moving down, so let's actually bring them home. Okay, we'll get Beatrice working on reducing war exhaustion. See if we can get the war exhaustion efforts down, just because it craps all over our morale and everything. So just try and see if we can stay in the fight for as long as possible whilst this ticks up. Visu's gone. That's bad news for us now. Porto has fallen. Oh, there was a moment there as well. Okay, we're going to peace out. We managed to get a peace deal. Before I lose it, I'm just going to do it. So we have paid them a shit ton of money. We have paid them war reparations, but they have not got any territory off of us. I'm happy with that. So we pay war reparations, we pay 300 ducats, which is nasty, but we are at peace again. Gosh, that was scary. Okay, the dust is now settling, and to be honest, I don't think we got out of that too badly. Obviously not nice to incur such a large amount of debt, and that's obviously going to be a problem for our economy for the next couple of months to years. However, if I wasn't clear in the war, they were trying to take Alto Alentejo, so it wasn't just a show of force or anything like that. And for us to basically get a peace deal without incurring any capital or territorial losses is a big deal. What it does mean, however, is we have 5 years basically to figure out a way to be ready for them to come again. Now, the easiest and probably our best course of action is to get a deterrent. I'm thinking France. If we can somehow get France to ally with us, they're 25 short. Okay, if we can get France to ally us, that will probably get rid of any problems we have. So I'm going to profess trust with them once, see how close that gets us. So that's 15 short now. So we can maybe do it one more time and see how that pushes us. But other than that, we also need to start thinking about how the hell we're going to defend our borders. So I'm going to spend a bit of time looking through a few things. and we can start making some decisions. So the month has ticked over now. We've incurred all of that debt, and Beatrice has stopped doing war exhaustion efforts. So what we'll do is we'll get her on recovery efforts. We'll stick Beatrice on Beira Alta because it's got the most people in it, and we can have a look at some of these other things. So first things first, we're losing an enormous amount of money. That is because we're spending a lot on the army, on the forts, and probably the navy as well. Obviously we're paying a lot of interest. We're paying for mercenaries that will hopefully expire soon, and then the dreaded war reparations as well. So I think it's unavoidable. I think we're going to have to incur some inflation. We'll bump up our minting. We'll get 0.15 per month of inflation. Not good for the long term, but for now, just to give us a bit of a positive balance, I think it's a necessary evil. Looks like we're also losing food, so let's have a look at that. Yeah, lots of our provinces are short on food, so this is hopefully something that will correct itself shortly, but big problem. We can get rid of our levies, get them back to the fields. Okay, and what we're going to do also with Philippe is we are going to crack down on the rebels, because the last thing we need right now is a rebellion on our hands, so we will stop the commoners from getting all uppity. We can do this push for centralization. I think this will just carry on ticking over for the next 2 years, so we'll just leave that to run. Tell you what, we're going to marry Joao to Lady Joan Plantagenet of England, because I think that will help us get closer to an alliance. Yes, we've got a royal marriage, so next thing we want to do is also just push the England angle. So if we can't get France on side, we should be able to get England, and it's absolutely better than nothing. I'm very, very concerned. Without an adequate, reliable partner, Castile's just going to come back at us, so we absolutely need to deal with that. And then other than that, we're just going to let the months tick over a little bit. I can't really justify doing anything until we can get rid of some of these loans. Maybe not all of them, but definitely at least some of them. Oh, Philippe is dead. Bloody hell. So we need to get someone else now. Possibly. Can't afford it. God's sake. Okay, we'll just leave them for a minute then. Maybe we will push them onto something else. So, you don't always have to have a cabinet member. Okay, we've had the taxation reforms of King Afonso. Amid the tide of centralization, King Afonso has put forth sweeping reforms to overhaul the taxation system of our kingdom. Designed to bolster the treasury and streamline revenue collection, the changes would draw fiscal authority away from local powers and concentrate it firmly in his hands. Yet such ambitions do not go unnoticed. Indeed, every estate from nobility to burghers stands to lose influence, and their unease is already turning to resistance. So, we could get taxation reforms, which improves tax efficiency, pushes us towards centralization. We're almost definitely going to go for that, even though it does a small hit to stability, pisses off every member of the estates, which is quite bad. Or we could gain a bunch of estate satisfaction and push towards centralization. Actually, I'm going to go for this. Let's not upset the status quo, because 2 isn't too much considering it's 3 months and then we're back to where we started, and that helps us improve the equilibrium of 2 of the estates that are quite irritated. So we'll get Beatrice on the last recovery effort. Looks like cracking down, because they have come back, they're a little bit less annoyed. It looks like it's now bringing this down, so we'll keep him on here for now, just because last thing we want is a rebellion. And perhaps the second last thing we want is a typhus outbreak. So that's brilliant. So we'll flip her over actually now to recovery effort in Estremadura, because it's much more important that our capital is thriving. And we've got military tactics. Not a moment too soon after we've got a treaty. Incompetent diplomacy. It's almost inconceivable how incompetent King Afonso is when handling diplomacy. We did not know how he did it, but he managed to hurt our diplomatic standing in the world with a single letter of apology to an ambassador. How can it be possible? That's no good at all. That's really not good. So what we're going to have to do in response to that is we are going to have to spend a little bit more on diplomatic spending because we need to get an uptick. Next thing we're going to do is see what we need for an alliance of 24. So we will just improve opinion for now, I think. And hopefully that will improve the chances of an alliance. We'll get Beatrice doing something else. There's so much going on at the moment. Okay, we'll get Beatrice back on the recovery effort for Trasomontes. And then we need to pick a technology. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to beeline for armory, because this is the earliest and quickest way to start actually getting manpower. We just don't have any reserves, and it means that once our army's dead, it's basically gone for good, so we'll beeline for armory. Drill army. No longer shall we depend upon untrained levied men. If we are to defend our borders and smite our rivals, we must conduct regular and organised drills. And then armory. Development of professional armies has created the need for getting new sources of manpower for our armies. The armory can be built in urban locations. Looks like we've got enough to pay off our first debt, so we'll pay that one off too. And we have had another event, the growth of Evora. Evora, a prominent town nestled in the Alto Alentejo, has rapidly transformed into a burgeoning hub of commerce and governance. Merchants flock to its markets, artisans establish new workshops, and local officials expand their reach as the town grows in wealth and influence. This is without a doubt a result of our focus towards centralizing our kingdom, a sign of things to come under the wise guidance of King Afonso. The options are, our efforts are paying off. This is probably what we're going to go for because we get a push towards capital economy, it gets a bit of development. Evora itself gets a reduction in building cost and trade capacity, and it's not too expensive. The other option is to spend way too much money, we can't do that, or to do nothing. So we'll say our efforts are paying off. Let's put us back into the red, but I do think it's worth it. And we will put Beatrice on developing the province of Estremadura, just because her stats in, what is that, diplomacy, administrative, is so good. We will just get her to continue using that. I think we're also just going to destroy this Jewelers Guild in Lisbon. It just sucks. We don't have any of the local resources to be able to produce it effectively, so we have a massive hit to production efficiency, and we could just use it better elsewhere. Alright, and we've had a petition for decentralization. The estates have submitted a formal petition calling for a return to decentralized governance. They argue that power should be restored to local administrators rather than remaining concentrated in the hands of King Afonso. The move is widely seen as an attempt to curb the growing authority of the crown and to tilt the balance of influence within our court. So we could accept it, and it would push us quite heavily back towards decentralization, or we could say sod off and push towards centralization, which is what we're going to do. They cannot dictate the policy of King Afonso. So we are quite heavily towards centralization now, which is really boosting our crown power. Everything else is somewhat irrelevant. Proximity speed is okay, I suppose. Oh dear, and Beatrice is dead. So now we have no members in the cabinet. We probably do need to rectify that. They're all quite shit. We'll go for Joao, just because he is a member of the crown. We'll appoint him. It's so annoying though, because it's very expensive. Okay, and we are spending quite a lot of money on food, particularly in Estremadura. So what we're going to do is we're going to build one fish resource in Lisbon. Lisbon specifically because there's probably going to be enough people to immediately employ it, and also the mercenary contract has expired, which should boost our monthly income. Advancement of the nobility. The state is not the sole source of influence in our country. Over the last few decades, a charismatic champion of the nobility has successfully managed to increase the power of the leading families of the nobility over most of the institutions of our country. Contacts and privileges can be powerful things, especially when combined with ambition. And they just get 10 satisfaction. That's not too bad. That means we can probably tax them a bit more. Let's tax them a bit more for now. Get as much money as possible. Look how much we're getting now, 30. Also, our exploration to Cape Verde is going to finish when? Later this year. And that will save us 10 ducats a month, and that should basically sort our problems out. And our daughter is 16. Can she be married off to anyone? potentially for a royal marriage. I'm thinking France if possible. We don't have a diplomat. Okay, we've got another parliament session and a bit of a rogue play, but I'm probably going to go for sponsor the noble arts. Not really for the actual passing of the debate, but more for this here. They get a good push towards their satisfaction and the baseline up 20%. So same logic as before. It means that they're going to be very happy paying an enormous amount of tax. So we can tax them really heavily for the next couple of months. Just trying to really support our economic base whilst we get out of this debt loop. Okay, so we've improved with England as much as possible, and we're still miles off. God. Oh yeah, look, they're still really pissed off we didn't support their alliance. Pay off another loan. We can give the burghers addressing the toll castle complaints. It gets rid of a few toll castles, which are generally not good buildings because it adds loads of food consumption. And because this actual parliament session is pro-nobility, it's not really going to impact them too much. And we've had the nobility are worried. We've had this before because people close to the frontier are concerned we're neglecting our defences. It's a massive stability here. I mean, that's crazy. We do really need to get an alliance, though. I'm very, very scared of Castile right now. Okay, so Coimbra have asked for a seat in the parliament. If we give it to them, we get 25 support, which we're going to do, and we're going to slow down time and use this as an opportunity to request additional taxes, I think. So we're going to get even more money, and then we will push capital economy, because that helps our ambitions to be a capital economy. We'll let it run for a little bit and then maybe give a concession, but I'm not really happy giving away too much at this point. So we're at a bit of a crossroads now because diplomatic capacity is a bit limited and we need to basically decide, can we get France on side or can we get England on side? And then we need to basically commit to one of them and do as much as we can. So let's have a look at each of them and see how close we are. So England's 24 negative, but our relative strength is 11, and we've obviously got the royal marriage. France, on the other hand, 20 negative, 17 strength differential. They've got better trust and positive opinion. Let's profess trust with the French once. That gets us to 10. We might be able to do it. Fingers crossed. We'll pay off another loan. And we've discovered Cape Verde, so now look at our monthly budget, 40. It's fantastic. We need to look at this parliament as well. We've got 4 days. Do we want to get it over the line? Yes, we will increase opinion of Passau. Completely meaningless thing to give away, but it gives us the 50 support we need. And then at least we get something out of the parliament. Okay, looking at our budget here, you can see we're spending quite a lot on libraries because books are very expensive. So let's build a scriptorium in Lisbon. And we are still spending a little bit on importing food, so we will do another fish in Lisbon. And we've got drill army, so that obviously will push us onto the armory. And we've got enough to profess trust one more time. How close does that get us? 8. So the only other thing that I think we can pull on is reducing this strength. So we need to basically build some ships, I think. So let's go for that. Let's build a couple ships. We'll build 1, 2, 3 light ships. I don't know if it will do it, to be honest, but we've got to try. We've got 2 years. If we don't do it, Castile will be coming back. Pay off the penultimate loan. God, I'm getting nervous. I don't know if we can do it in time. And Castile are just absolutely going to come and try and fight us again. Okay, so it looks like the rebellion amongst the common folk are fully quashed, so we will do something else. Improve control, let's say Ribatejo to start. We'll move around the centre just to try and improve our balance, and we will improve opinion with France to try and get us to this level 9, -13. halfway with the ships. I mean, we've probably only got one punt with these ships, so hopefully that's enough, but I can't see it being enough, to be honest. We'll stick these guys on drill army as well. Again, it's not really going to do much because we've only got 1,000 troops, but it's better than nothing. So our ships are at 100%, so we'll get them back patrolling the Iberian coast. Once this is recovered a little bit, we will start sending some out to our colonies. Speaking of colonies, we're going to build a settlement, a market village in Madeira to try and get that market access. Anything in any of these? We'll also build a market village in, what's this called? Ponta Delgada. Looks like we have completed a task here, control the region. Oh, and we've done it. Great. So King Afonso gets a bunch of extra stats. That's fantastic. He's still pretty poopy, but better than nothing. We can pick a new mission. I think we'll probably go for capable cabinet because the modifiers are pretty good. Extra tax, extra prosperity. So let's go for that. So we need to actually create a cabinet because we don't have a second person. So we'll need to put someone in. We can put good old Philippe in. He's actually quite good. So long gone are his days exploring the seas. We've done that one there, so we've got extra efficiency. Looks like we've completed all three. So we get extra crown power, we get extra 10% satisfaction, and Philippe gains 5 admin, Joao gains 5 admin, and we push towards innovative, so that was actually fantastic. And our ships are finished, so let's bring them all together. And has that made any form of a difference? We're at -10. We're so close, it's painful, and I don't know if we can get it over the line. We'll profess trust with England. That gets us to -13. I mean, we really just have to go for it here. So we'll build another 1, 2, 3 ships. I don't think it made any difference, if I'm honest, because looking at the alliance, the strength is still exactly the same. But I'm 99% convinced that without an alliance, Castile are going to attack us, and I don't want to take that gamble. Okay, in an attempt to increase our research speed, we're going to build a library in Beja. That means we've got one in every single town. Profess trust with England again. So we're at 32 now. Let's see how close that gets us. It gets us to 4. Okay, we might be able to do it. So we've got a year and a half, a year and 9 months to get 4 points. Improve opinion with England again. Oh god, that's not good. He's only been able to improve a tiny bit, so we've got to -5. Oh, and we've got the armory. Okay, so this does hopefully change things a tiny bit. Can we build 1 or 2? So it costs 60, so we can build 1. We may as well build it in Lisbon to start off with, and we need to research something else. We'll go for men-at-arms, because it both upgrades our levies as well as being able to recruit a more advanced army battalion. So, armoured footmen outfitted with a medley of hand-to-hand weapons. Men-at-arms are heavy melee infantry who can break through enemy formations. We'll go for that. The nobility are grateful for our favour. A delegation of nobility came to us today to thank us for favouring them in government. In fact, they are so grateful that a small voluntary contribution was made to our treasury. That's actually amazing. We'll build another armoury. What should we do? We'll do it in Porto as our second city. I think, in fact, we can actually build a third one. Which we will do in... I wonder why we can't do it in Santarém. Strange. We'll do an Evora. Okay, the 3 ships are done, so we will bring them... In fact, we will bring them all on their own, and we'll send them off to the Azores. Okay, we can improve with France as much as possible as well. Okay, so we've got just about a year. Can we get an alliance? I don't think it's making much difference, but we'll go for it anyway. Just get a couple more ships to see if we can improve our strength vis-a-vis England and or France. Doesn't seem like it's making much of an impact, but looking at France, for example, this is our relative power, our strength, right? So it's matched by economic strength, military strength, and naval strength. Now, the only one we can really positively impact is our naval strength, and it's the one that we're closest to in terms of balance. Okay, I've got a plan. I've reduced our diplomatic spending down, I've increased our minting back up, and I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and send England a gift of money once we have enough, and then hopefully that will get us over the line with respect to the acceptance reasons. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. Do we have enough time? I don't know. France has won the 100 Years' War. In a momentous turn of events, the Kingdom of France has emerged victorious in the arduous and protracted 100 Years' War. The Kingdom of England has been forced to recognise French territorial integrity and make substantial concessions. This triumph has greatly enhanced the prestige and influence of France on this stage of Europe. King Charles V de Valois has the chance to consolidate his reclaimed territory, strengthen his royal authority, and establish himself as a preeminent power in the region. So this concludes the 100 Years' War. It's a shame, really, because we're obviously going for an alliance with England right now, because we can't seem to get France, really. They're just a bit too far off. Military treatise. Our emphasis on a strong aristocracy has given the nobility means to serve in the army, and they're devoting more of their attention to the military. One among them has published a treatise on military thought. This was a good read. That's fantastic, actually. That's a really good event. Gosh, what's happened to the Bohemians? They are just completely collapsed. We're the same level of strength as them, and that shouldn't be the case. Okay, I think we're in a position to give England a gift, so let's give that a go. So we will just give them as much as we can, because failure to get this alliance will be the end of the Portuguese reign. So we'll give them 256. That's really impressed them, and we're there. So we just need the diplomat to come through in a month's time, and then we should be able to get the alliance. Please God, do not let it drop by the time we get to a month's time. We can drop our minting back down. Okay, 4th of June. Alliance. We have an alliance with England. Oh, thank God. Thank God. We've been able to do it. I think that will be enough. We have staved off Castile, and for now the border is calm. A tender alliance with England holds together a fragile peace. But for how long will Castile remain content with a splintered Iberia?